Hello and welcome to all my Flosstube neighbors. I'm Chris and this is Xrossstitch, and today is Tuesday, May the 24th, 2022, and this is Flosstube number 51. I'm so happy to have each and every one of you here today. If you are new to the channel, welcome. I'm so glad that you decided to click on that little box and check me out. I hope that you like what you see. This is a channel primarily about cross-stitching, but there's so much more, and some would even argue not enough cross-stitching. But I do hope you enjoy what you see. And if you are a returning neighbor, well, you're the neighborhood. You're the wonderful group of people that comprise this neighborhood here at Xrossstitch, my own little corner of Flosstube, and I'm so happy to have you back. It has been an amazing week. Once again, you have all rallied and shown me how tremendously kind and thoughtful you are, and we'll discuss more of that later. But first, we always start Xrossstitch by naming Handstanding Cat. Handstanding Cat is the top of Tiki, Tree of 1,000 Faces, a piece of teak driftwood that stands right in the corner of my bedroom right there. The top of it looks like a handstanding cat, and I asked for names last year and I got so many. I put them on a wheel and I spin every week, but occasionally we have a special naming of Handstanding Cat because Handstanding Cat has become a mascot for all of our furry friends that we have, our dear fur babies, our pets. And occasionally we have a sad naming of Handstanding Cat. Well, not a sad naming, a tribute naming of Handstanding Cat to honor one of our beloved pets that has crossed over the Rainbow Bridge. And today, our dear neighbor, Joan M., it has named Handstanding Cat in honor of her buddy Gibbs, who you see right here next to me. What a sweet face, that adorable, adorable pooch there. Gibbs left us in November of last year, so we are naming Handstanding Cat this week in his honor and in Joan's honor. So Joan, we send you all of our warmest hugs and wishes, and we know how hard it is to get over the loss of a pet. Even though it was several months ago, I'm sure that you still miss him, but I hope that this brings you comfort, and I'm glad to share that sweet, sweet face with all of the neighbors here today. So Handstanding Cat this week, Gibbs. I tried to start this video about 4 or 5 times, and I had to start over. I got tickled. I got myself tickled. So here and there throughout this episode, you will see those bloopers, just randomly. You know me, I like to edit, so you'll never know where they'll pop up. And it's a good thing today that it happened today, because today is a day without a story, without a toy, without a reminiscence, because there's a lot of business today. I did more cross-stitching. I've got lots of updates to give you. I've got lots of giveaways to disperse. So it's going to be a pretty straightforward business day here at Xrossstitch. And my stomach's already growling, which is another, my stomach is another mascot of Xrossstitch. So, now someone's going to knit me a stomach. I just know it. Send it to me with a face on it. May the 24th, 2022, and this is Flosstube. This is Flosstube. I brush my teeth right before I do this because I want to have, relatively good looking teeth. And I start to talk, and it becomes Old Faithful. Just, drives me crazy. Let's start over. So first, a bit of business. I have a shout out to my dear friend Kaylee at Kaylee Cross-Stitch, who has just crossed over the 1,000 subs mark. And I just wanted to extend to her a big hug of congratulations. And I wanted to tell you about her because Kaylee is doing something. Well, first of all, I mentioned her before. She's incredibly talented musically, and sings and composes and does all that jazz, is a music teacher. But she's doing something that's very interesting, and she's doing tiny stitches. I don't know how she does what she does, but because I'm to the point now where I need readers on top of my readers. But if you're interested in very small, very fine cross stitching, stitching with threads that are, the size of your hair, check her out, because it's really interesting to see the kind of things that she's doing, the fabric that she's using fabrics that are not necessarily specified for cross stitching. It's really kind of phenomenal. So I wanted to mention her, not only because she reached a milestone in her subscribers, but also because she's really doing some interesting things with her stitching. And I think you'll find it rather interesting if you are into that kind of smaller stitching. The other is that Jamie S., our dear neighbor Jamie S., my wackadoodle neighbor. I said wackadoodle randomly earlier last year, and now in every comment she writes, and she writes every week, she puts wackadoodle, and I love that. But she asked, how did you become interested in cross stitching? And I wanted to answer that question. I became interested in cross stitching because of the woman that I mentioned a few episodes ago in the snake story, Marilyn, or Mo, who was my legal guardian for several years in my adolescence. And she, a longtime family friend, I've known her all my life, but she, in the early 80s, as I've said, when I started cross-stitching, she was creating 2 pieces for her sister's child. And one that she did was an Afghan, and I know you'll know what I'm talking about. They're the Afghans, well, you used to be able to buy them. I don't know if you can now, but it's a baby size Afghan or a larger size Afghan that comes woven with squares of, it's not Aida, but it's woven with squares of an even weave, or what you can put a cross stitch design in. And she did it. It was all animals doing like grown-up things. So, teddy bears with a wheelbarrow, and teddy bears as a firefighter, a teddy bear policeman, etc., etc. And the other thing that she was doing was a beautiful Disney chart. Hear them? Now, if you don't hear them, put your headphones on, because they're barking. The other thing that she did was a beautiful Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And that's what really enchanted me, because it was so colorful. And it was a big piece. It was like an 11 by 17 of Snow White and all the Seven Dwarfs. And I think Snow White was kissing Dopey's head in it. But I just became enchanted with it, because it was, as I said, it was so colorful. It was so involved. And I remember watching her stitching on that. And one day I just said to her, I want to show me how you're doing that. And she just showed me, and then I got my own stuff. And I started on my own. And she helped. So Marilyn is really the reason why Crisscross Stitch ever happened. and I again, I owe her a debt of gratitude for that, and so many other things. It was her birthday over the weekend, so happy birthday, Mo. I love you. And so there's your answer, my wackadoodle friend. So on to the cross stitching. This was a big week for cross stitching. Firstly, I have to show you a start. And it's a start that I know that you are all very familiar with if you are a regular viewer here. And this is the beautiful design by our neighbor Aya Rosen called Wedgwood 2. Now these charts are called Wedgwood 1 and Wedgwood 2. And these, as you know, are for the hashtag Mary Will Sal, the stitch along that we started last week in honor of my dear sweet Miss Mary Will, who was such a formative influence on my life And I know that you know her story. We won't rehash what we did last week, but I did begin that chart along with several of you. And I'm going to show you the progress on it, and then we're going to talk about some of the business behind the SAL after you see. But here's my start. I got a lot done. This was, once I started, and I have to say, this is an enjoyable stitch. If you haven't started it yet and you have the chart, you will love it. If you don't have the chart yet, well, we'll talk about that in a second. But this is just a delightful stitch, and it's a quick stitch too. I stopped on Saturday night or Sunday morning because I felt that if I didn't stop, I would finish it before many of you had started it, and I do want to be stitching it with you. So I held back on it. Another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to do both of them on one canvas, and I don't know how. Many of you are going to be, once you see it, you'll probably be, oh, send me that chart. I don't have a chart for it. I'm going to have to wing it, and I'm going to have to see how it goes. But I'm going to put the two pieces together, the teacup and the teapot behind it. And then I'm hopefully going to find an alphabet, probably a Judy Whitman, and just put Mary Will down the side, and kind of create my own thing, and maybe even do a border if I get really excited about it. But I just love it. Now, here is a little bit of business about the SAL. You are amazing people. Amazing. In 1 week's time, we have raised for Dolly's Imagination Library $1,500 plus. It's remarkable, just remarkable. 60 some odd children, 60 plus children will have books now, thanks to you and your generosity and the inspiration of Miss Mary Will. So that's remarkable. Many of you are donating to Buy Me a Coffee, and here's the important stuff. Many of you are submitting your donation to the Buy Me a Coffee link, which is below. Every single penny of that will go to Dolly's Imagination Library, and I contribute the fees. There's a fee that they take, Buy Me a Coffee, and it's hard to find any service like that won't take a fee, but that is my component. I pay that. So when you donate $5 to Buy Me a Coffee, $5 goes to the Imagination Library. If you donate $25, $25 goes to the Imagination Library. And that's a great site to use, because if you submit to that, I can see your email and I can get you the charts very quickly. If you submit directly to Dolly's Imagination Library, which is absolutely fine, I love that too, and many of you have, make sure that you just take a screenshot or forward me the email that they send you for your donation, because I can't see your email address from the direct website, from Dolly's website. Sometimes if you put my email address in, it will notify me that you've donated, but I can't see your email address. Now, most of you I'm able to find because you've emailed me before, or et cetera, et cetera. I think there are about 4 people that have, maybe 4 or 5, a handful of you, may have already donated to Dolly's Imagination Library directly and don't have the charts. If you don't, email me. Please email me and I'll get them to you very quickly. I'm pretty good about getting them to you in short order. And if you donate to Dolly's Imagination Library from today onward, just know, send me an email. Send me an email forwarding that email that they send you, or take a screenshot of it, however you want to do it. But make sure that you contact me directly. And the email address is below. You're seeing it at the bottom of your screen right now as well. So just a little bit of business, but thank you from the bottom of my heart. It just fills my heart with so much joy every time I see one come in. And I'm so happy to be able to send you this chart as a these charts as a thank you. And I'm so grateful to Aya for creating such a beautiful design and something that I found so pleasurable to stitch. I'm just overwhelmed by the whole thing, but I'm not surprised one bit, because you are the greatest neighbors in the world. I think I have the best viewers on Flosstube. People would argue with me, but I still think I do. So that's my start. Wedgwood 2, shortly to be followed by Wedgwood 1, part of the hashtag Mary Will Sal. And I can't wait to see, now that so many of you have it, I can't wait to see on Instagram all of those photos of your progress on it. Oh, I forgot a little snippet. The reason that this is a jonquil inside Wedgwood, and I didn't include this in the video last week because I put in the edit for my Christmas video and I took out the little snippet about the Wedgwood in Mary Will's story. But one of the things that we used to talk about when I would go over to her house and visit was her full set of Wedgwood china. And we would talk about the Greek myths involved that were depicted on the Wedgwood china and the classical, the mythology of those characters. So that is why when Aya heard the story initially, she put the jonquil in the Wedgwood. So that you may have wondered, why is this in a Wedgwood teacup? That's why. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the neighborhood. Should I start over? Moving on to my next work in progress, well, it's a Quaker Christmas by Bygone Stitches. This is part of a stitch along that was started last year by my friends Annie and Artie, the proper stitcher and vintage stitcher respectively. This is a whip go goal for this particular month for me. It's a page finish goal, and I think I'm going to do it. I haven't stitched on this in 2 or 3 days. I didn't stitch on it over the weekend because I wanted my weekend to be devoted to the Mary Will Sal start. But today I will pick this back up and probably stitch on it a lot this week because I have, 6 or 7 days before the end of the month. And, 30 days after, I have 7 days. And did you like that? I just went through that poem. Anyway, but I love this. I just love it. This variegated thread, it's so popular. Many of you asked me what it is, and I've emailed you and sent you, and I think some of you are going to copy this pairing, which I love. I think that's absolutely fine. If you respond to this and you want to do it, do it. Do it, do it, do it. Part of Flosstube is being inspired by other people, and it tickles me to death when I hear someone liked this pairing and may do it themselves. I'm omitting a couple of things from this chart though. I don't like the floating letters. I'm keeping Joy, Noel, etc. Of course, I'll keep the Merry Christmas. But the random alphabet, I'm omitting. It bothers me. I don't, if that makes it less of a Quaker, I'm sorry. But I just don't like it. It's a crowded thing to begin with. I like the negative space that's created by the omission of that. And where I see in working it that it's too much of a negative space, it's lovely because usually there's just a single small diagonal or diamond-shaped motif nearby. I scooched over. I fill that. If it's a blank area that really draws my eye, I'll just move that little diamond motif up to make it a little bit more cohesive, and I really like it. As I say that intro, I'm sounding more and more like a radio disc jockey. Hello and welcome to all my Flosstube neighbors. You are listening to WHKW, Fayette, Columbus, Tuscaloosa. I'm crying. And it's not even 2 minutes into the video. Okay. The third thing I worked on this week was the amazing Caterpillar cross stitches. How Does Your Garden Grow Mystery Stitch Along. I thought that there was only one more chapter of this. This is a mystery stitch along. We receive our new portion of the chart on the 21st of every month. It came out a few days ago, and I thought there was only one more, but apparently there's this one and another. And this is a really cute one. It's got the picket. We're adding now the picket fence and we would call them galoshes here in the U.S., but they call them wellies across the pond, Wellingtons, and polka dot ones to boot. And do you see what I did there? Did you see what I did there? That was a surprise pun. I was as surprised as you were. Galoshes to boot. Comedy. Yeah. Crazy day. I started working on that one, and I made a mistake that I'm keeping. This entire picket fence is supposed to be done in B5200. Yesterday morning, when I started stitching this, I reached in my project bag. I had already done a bit of the picket fence the night before and got sleepy, so I went to bed. So I pulled out the strands of what I thought was B5200, and I started stitching the bottom row of the cross piece. And I realized more than 10 stitches in, I realized about 15 stitches in, that doesn't look like B5200, and it wasn't. It was a very, very, very light gray that the watering can is stitched in and some other things. And I kept it because it looks like the shadow of the rail. And I was not in the mood to pick out even 20 stitches yesterday morning. And I just continue to cross, and I kind of like it. I like it a lot, actually. It looks just like a shadow of that rung, and I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom, and I'm happy with it. Sometimes you can turn your mistakes they become happy accidents, don't they? So this is a really fun stitch. I'm enjoying it, and I'm going to finish on time. I know I have until the 21st of next month to finish this, so it'll happen. This is not a big section. How Does Your Garden Grow Mystery Stitch Along by Caterpillar cross-stitching, but there's so much more to my channel than just cross-stitching, and some would say not enough cross-stitching, but hey, whatever blows your skirt up is... Oh, my Aunt Johnny May used to say. It was an embarrassment of riches in Happy Mail this week, and I am always so touched by your thoughtfulness and your generosity. This week was particularly special. Firstly, our dear neighbor, Wendy W., sent me this adorable card congratulating me on my 1-year anniversary of Flosstube. Wendy, thank you so much. I love it. This style, you would have had no way of knowing this, but this mid-century style of cartoon or animation hits me in the feels. I am and that is evocative of, this card is evocative of it. I am a child of the 70s. And you know, the 70s was heavily influenced by the 60s and the mid-century, to a degree. And I'm a schoolhouse rock boy through and through, right? Conjunction, junction, what's your function? And this reminds me of some of the artwork in that, and I just love it. So thank you. And the big flowers, the laugh-in style flowers. And we used to have, drive-by story. We used to have these, we had an old cast iron claw-footed bathtub at my grandmother's house. And for a period of time, we had, they used to make these things that they were adhesive, that you would put in the bottom of your shower or your tub so you wouldn't slip and fall. And we had a set that Mother put in our, and you're going to cringe when you hear this, but they all came up later. They all came up without leaving it, messing it. She put a set of those stickers, those anti-slip things in the bottom of our bathtub, and they looked like big laugh-in flowers. I remember them like it was yesterday. Avocado green, orange, and gold, which were the colors of the 70s. Also the colors of our high school. I'm getting off track. But at any rate, thank you so much, Wendy. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Secondly, Jen, our neighbor, Jen C., who submitted the lovely story about the blankets that she made for her Navy veteran father and mother a few weeks ago, you may remember. She sent me a lovely letter, and she sent me these. These are handmade coasters. And if you'll notice, the fabric are Mr. Rogers' images. And the last one says, anyone who does anything to help a child in his life is a hero. So all of you are heroes because of your support of Mary Will Sal. And Jen, I can't thank you enough for these, how special they are. I said offhandedly, and it was literally an offhanded statement in one of my first episodes, that I wanted to be the Mr. Rogers of Flosstube. And I never thought in a million years that just, off the cuff statement would take hold. And so many of you have been so generous and kind in your comments about it. And you send me things like this, which I will treasure for the rest of my life. So thank you so much, Jen C. I really do appreciate it. And then, sticking to theme, I also received a wonderful package all the way from the UK. And, every now and then it's interesting because there's a handful of Flosstubers, well, not a handful, there are 2 Flosstubers with whom I feel a special kinship because we began our channels right around the same time. One is Annie the Proper Stitcher. The other is the dear Sarah at Sew Me Sarah. And if you do not watch her, if you do not follow Sew Me Sarah here on Flosstube, please do. She is one of the kindest, loveliest human beings ever on the planet. And she does beautiful stitching. She's in Northern Ireland. She has a lovely, she broadcasts from a lovely, everything about it. I just love everything about it, about her and her channel. And we began within days of each other, first anniversary, a year ago. She sent me this lovely card that says hello, with adorable inside. Possibly the neatest penspersonship I've ever seen, handwriting. And along the theme of the Mr. Rogers neighborhood, this adorable chart from another dear, dear, sweet Flosstuber, Michelle Bindi Stitchy. She made this. It's you I like, which is one of his phrases, of course. Beautifully finished into a pillow fabric, this lovely peacock, the colors, I wonder if you can see it. It's like a purples and blues and greens, which are among my favorite colors. The peacock colors I love peacocks. But this is so incredibly thoughtful. And to think that people would actually take their time to craft these beautiful remembrances, it just touches my heart so deeply. So thank you, Sarah. This, as I said when I wrote you, this will have pride of place on my new tiered tray that I've been eyeing for a long time, and I want to get one, or I'm going to get that one. And I can't thank you enough. It just means the world to me. It's you I like. It's you I like. All of you. But thank you, Sarah. It touches my heart. I love it very much indeed. So on to the giveaway winners. We had a big week of giveaways last week because it was my 1-year anniversary, and I wanted to share the love and spread the wealth, as it were, and offer up a lot of giveaways. The first 3 are PDF charts. So these will come to you via your email account. So when you hear that you've won, shoot me an email and those will be in your hands very, very quickly. The first 2 were beautiful charts. So many of you responded to these by my dear friend Michael at the Flosstube channel Star Parade. He has recently started designing and has an Etsy store, and he offered up 2 of his designs for giveaways here. The first was this beautiful strawberry fields that you're seeing now. This is somewhat customizable. You can change the people out. It has a verse, etc., etc. The winner of this, Linda Glover. Linda, congratulations. Send me an email and I'll get that to you very, very quickly. And then the next from Michael at Star Parade was called Nautical. And so many of you responded to this one as well. So much so that he has offered up a discount code to his Etsy store. So if you don't win this and you love the chart, I have a code for you. The code is on my phone. And I put in my notes that there was a code, but I can't remember what it is. So look right there. You see right there? There's the code. There's the code. It will be below. It will be below in the show notes. But go there. I believe it's 20% off if you do not win this. But the winner of Nautical is Ray Ann O'Neill. Congratulations, Ray Ann, frequent commenter, neighbor. So happy. So shoot me an email and I'll send you Nautical. And if you didn't win Nautical, but you love it, and you should because it's fabulous, you can use this code below and get it. The third, from our dear neighbor, Amanda, beautiful designer at Cobweb and Rose. She offered Coffee is Life. Coffee is Life. And the winner of this, our dear neighbor, Roxanne Green. Congratulations, Roxanne. Roxanne has been with me right from the beginning. And I was thrilled when your name popped up on the YouTube random comment picker. So those 3, email me and I'll send them to you immediately. Next, from the dear folks at Fat Quarter Shop, we have a handful of giveaways. The first of which were these lovely project bags. These are a plastic material perforated project bag. They're beautiful. They're very functional. You can use them for a variety of things. But the lovely folks at Fat Quarter Shop were so kind to offer those up, and they are available now on their website if you, again, do not win these. But let's see who will receive these 3 project bags. The first is Peony, a beautiful pinky shade. This will be going to Southern Louisiana Stitcher. Southern Louisiana Stitcher, congratulations. I believe you are a relatively new neighbor here, so I'm tickled that your name popped up. Next, we have the same style, same kind of project bag, just in a different shade. This is a minty green called Misty. Misty. This goes to Joe Brown. Longtime neighbor Joe, congratulations. And then finally, the third iteration of this project bag, the lovely blue and called Bluebell. The winner, Debbie Morin. Debbie Morin. So if the three of you would please shoot me an email with your address. Joe, I have yours. Send me an email anyway, say hello. But send me an email and I will get those up and sent out very soon. By the way, all of the giveaways for the past month and some change have gone. I did them yesterday. So be on the lookout. All of you who have won things over the past few weeks, they are on their way to you. Next, we have a quilt pattern. The quilt pattern Amaryllis. Amaryllis. This goes to Jody Dremer. Congratulations, Jody. And finally, a cross-stitch pattern, cut, press, sew. Keyword for this was press. The winner of this, Jenny Kennedy. Jenny Kennedy, congratulations. You have won cut, press, sew. And then finally, the last two giveaways are small kits. They are, these were generously donated by one of our other neighbors. I don't remember who, but these are, have been, have come out of someone's stash and now will be on their way to you. The first is called All You Need Is Love. The keyword for this was kitten because it features a little kitten on it. And the winner of this, Karen Gonzalez. Karen Gonzalez, you are the winner of All You Need Is Love with the little kitten on it. And lastly, enjoy the little things. Enjoy the little things. One of the mottos here is Chris it up. When you find yourself in a moment of frustration or anger or depression or sadness, if you look hard, hopefully, if you look hard enough, you can find some spark of joy that may just help you get out of that moment. It's not easy, but enjoy the little things is a great allusion to that. And Susan Gilmore, you will be receiving this kit. Congratulations, Susan. All of you, please send me emails with your mailing addresses. If it is an actual physical giveaway that you have won today, please make sure that you do check when you send me an email, crisscrossstitch@gmail.com, cross with an X and 3 S's, it's right below, and I'll get those to you shortly. I can't get started. What is happening to me? 50 videos and I've just lost it. Okay. Wait, all right, so we also have 4 giveaways today for you. The first is a Stoney Creek collection. This is part of a series. I only have one of them because these are all, again, regifts. These have been generously donated by your fellow neighbors and I'm offering them up to you as giveaways. But the first is, this looks like it would be a beautiful pillow. Love. Love. Now there's going to be an odd keyword for this because so many of you may actually could use the word love in your comment and not really want the giveaway. So the keyword for this, it's very strange, January, because this was January of 2022. This, I believe this was, it says it there in the corner. So January. If you want this, use the keyword January. Next is a heartstring samplery. This is adorable. I wish you lived next door. I wish you lived next door. This is great. I love the colors in this. I don't know what kind of bird that is, but it's as cute as it can be. The keyword for this is going to be heartstring. One word, heartstring. Again, I thought about using the word neighbor for this, but I thought, well, that could be, you might put neighbor in your comment. So I try to do something that's going to separate the keyword from a random comment that you might have. So for this one, please use the keyword heartstring. Next, we have from Summer House Stitchworks, the Symphonic Romance. This is pretty. Now this is customizable. This is an initial chart. So the border is, and the square is in the chart. And then it gives you the alphabet on the back so that you can customize this to your initial, whichever initial you prefer. This is called Symphonic Romance. So the keyword for this is going to be romance. Romance, if you're interested in that one. And then lastly, this is not a very large chart. It's absolutely doable. You possibly could get this done before the beginning of July. I will mail it very quickly next week if you win. But this is the From the Heart Freedom Quaker. Freedom Quaker. Needle art by Wendy from the Heart. Very cool. And the keyword for this is going to be Quaker. Quaker. Because it is a small Quaker. So, with everything, please be 18 years of age or older so I can ask you for your address. Please be a subscriber to my channel. Please like the video and don't use any of the words like giveaway or winner or anything that might attract a prize seeker to the channel. I want it to go to my neighbors, my subscribers. So don't use any words like that in your comment, but you all know to do that. So that's today's episode. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I can tell by when I record, I can always see by the time stamp of how long I've been recording, how long an episode is going to be once I edit it generally. And even though we didn't do a special segment like a Toy Story or a story time, this one's still going to be the same, the length of my normal videos. And I knew it would be this way because we had a lot to discuss. If you have questions about anything that I've talked about today with regard to the Mary Will Sal and how you need to let me know you've donated, if you have any questions about anything I ever show, about things I'm stitching, I try to include all of the information either in the video itself or in the show notes below, but I'm always available to you. Either in the comments or to directly email me if you have questions about anything, and I will get back to you. Sometimes it may take me a few days. Sometimes it might take me a week. But if it's a question about a material or something like that, I've tried to do those very quickly. But I will get back to you, I promise. So, until next time, have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for all your support of the Mary Will Sal. Keep that coming. Let's put more books in the hands of children. And let me put more of Aya's beautiful chart in your hands. And good luck this week with your stitching. Have a wonderful week of stitching. And until next time, take care and bye-bye.